Well, how is everybody today? In the video today that I'll be making, we'll be going over how much the V8 conversion cost in my HQ Holden. Welcome back, everybody. Today I'll be going over the build that I've done for swapping this small block Chevy into this HQ that I got. So pretty much going to be going off what did this cost, excluding the actual cost of the car, but putting the V8 in and all the other shit we had to do. So, car coming. So to start off with, what do you think? What are we talking? We're talking like 5, 10, 15 grand. Not really any of those. But pretty much in our engine bay, we've got the engine. So the engine itself I bought probably 2 years ago. And 2 years ago for the heads, I'm not using those heads now because they were bad, but for the short motor, which I pretty much going to use the short motor in what I've got in the car, cost me $700. It's a 4-bolt main, it was already bored 40 over, and had low comp dish pistons in it, so they got thrown in the bin as well. But the 4-bolt mains, the block, the rotating assembly, cost me $700, and in Australia that is pretty good. The transmission, I have a Turbo 400 in it. And the Turbo 400 I picked up for with another engine I bought. It was a 400 Chevy, and they were all together. I paid $1,500 for the engine and box, half it, so $750 we'll say was actually I bought the transmission for. So then to recon the box, I spent out $400 on it, and I did that myself. Put seals and new bushes and all that sort of shit. That's all I did with that. Out the back, we have a Ford 8.8 rear end out of a Ford Explorer, which I found at U-Pull-It. It has 411 gears, limited slip. It was a little bit narrower than the original diff, which is good, so you can fit a bit more dish on the wheels eventually. That cost me $280 with disc brakes, so that was a win. The radiator and that sort of thing, the radiator, the radiator only cost me $250. That was just an eBay alloy one. It's been in here for over 12 months now, and I haven't had any problems with it. Come with thermo fans as well, no problems with those. The brakes, that was a drum brake car, all 4 wheels with drum brakes, which with the V8 probably don't really want. So put discs on the front, and the back already had the Ford discs on the rear end. They cost me about $250 for the stub axles, the calipers, the discs and all that sort of stuff, and I just put new brake shoes in. That was $250, and that was a pretty good deal. Probably going to cost you more now. For the engine itself, I went for just a new rings, that sort of thing, and put new pistons in it because, as you saw in the previous video, that the pistons in it were low comp ones, and I wanted about 10-to-1 compression and that sort of thing. So I probably spent, just for a basic, and the camshaft as well, I popped up the cam. That was about $700 for just a set of rings and a camshaft and timing chain and that sort of stuff. The heads on it now are double hump Fuelie heads. So they're a 186 casting, I think they are. So 202 intake, 1.6 exhaust. They're just a Chevrolet head. There's nothing super fancy, but the best, or the good stuff of the stock things. The springs in it I got for free, which was lucky, but probably would have cost you $250 if you paid for them. I had to deck the cylinder heads as well because they were a bit, and had some sus looking deck surface. Decking them was $200. Tail shaft in the engine, or in the car, cost me $1,000. That was everything. So that was uni joints, Hardy Spice, the main tail shaft, and the tail shaft yoke. And Harley's coming, so I have to shut up. The exhaust I've got on it, I have just block huggers, which were just another cheap eBay buy. I had to cut them up a bit and make them work to fit around the oil filter so I could pull it off and the K-frame. And for the headers, the mufflers, and just some mild steel 2.5-inch piping and flanges, all up, exhaust probably around about $400, which is, again, it's cheap. The carby on it was another cheap buy. That was $200. $750 vacuum secondaries. I put a kit through it, so $280. I've got the carburetor. It has a 3000 stall in this thing, so that was around about $400. It's a B&M something or other, 3000 stall. Ignition, I'm still using the Delco unit, but I have a new cap on it and new plugs and MSD leads, that sort of thing. So probably all up around about $200 in ignition parts. And then things like engine mounts, that was $60, and that was a pretty inexpensive sort of thing. And then I had to go with a different cross member as well, and the cross member was $250 from Castlemate Rod Shop, but that also included the rubber mount as well, which goes to the underneath the box. And then to pretty everything up as well, so that was the new paint on the engine, and I wanted to do it in a durable coating. I wanted to do the engine bay in a durable coating that would last a good long time and was heat resistant, and I found that the spray can stuff, it's not very durable, so I went with a 2-pack paint. And for the engine bay and the engine, that was probably around about $150, and I probably could have done it more efficient, but I have a feeling it was about $150 with the sandpaper, the paint, the hardener, all that sort of stuff. I have a drop tank in it as well on the back. I use stainless tanks. I'm not using the original one. That was just an exhaust clearance thing, and that was free. I got that from a mate. I don't really know what that would cost you if you were to put one in. It's running an electric pump as well. It's a Bosch knockoff pump, low pressure pump, and that was about $100. Haven't had any problems with it yet. The trans cooler, that was another U pull it by. It's from a Ford Territory, and it fitted there, and went, well, that'll do. Run the line in and out. That was $30. And then there's other random bits like fan belts and the air cleaner and temperature gauge and earth lead and that sort of thing. That was around about probably give or take $200 in random things. And then fluids and filters as well. That was kind of a big cost because you can't really disregard that. Turbo 400 takes a lot of fluid, probably around about $220 in filters, fluids, engine oil, that sort of thing. The intake that I have on it is a Edelbrock Talker manifold, and that was a salt meat buy, lucky, $75. And that here in Australia, it's pretty good. And also there is on the back as well, I'm using Ford steel wheels so that I could use the Ford stud pattern. Eventually I want to convert that back over to Holden, but I just used Ford steel wheels, painted them, put tyres on them. That was around about $100. I used the same tyres that were on the Holden ones, just put them on the other one. So all up, for everything, to drop the motor in and recon it and get it going down the road and making power and making noise, was around about $7,745, which really what I've got in 2023 is pretty good. I bought the car, so 2017, it was the first car I've ever had, and that was $6,000 then in 2017, and add that up, is this car worth $13,745? Definitely. So I'm pretty happy with the amount of money I put into it and what I got out of it. So thanks for watching, guys. That'll be it today. I'm currently diagnosing a problem where I have one cylinder that's firing. It's firing, but it's firing weird. The plug doesn't look the same as the rest. That's why I got an old lead to see if it's that one, but it's not. I'm still playing with that. But we'll see you in the next video.